Recording. All right, everybody. I want to take a second really quickly and thank Ashley one more time for hopping on here with us. I know that she has a lot of wisdom and she's like super, super experienced in our business. So you guys probably have 5 billion questions for her. But I'm going to let her kick it off and then we'll do Q&A at the end if that's okay with you.
Yeah. Kick it off with just like,
I think we have so many people on our Zoom right now that are pushing for that next rank. Most of them are pushing for Ruby. We have Nicole on here who's pushing for Diamond this month, which is super exciting. So just some really awesome stuff happening and just really giving them the opportunity to hear really that motivation that they need and like how to really work their business to hit that next rank and get that next goal.
Sure. Okay, perfect. Well, first of all, hi, and thank you for your time and being on here. I really appreciate all of you guys and wanting to take your business to the next level. So, I think some of the main tips that I would with anybody that are trying to promote to the next level are asking yourself, like, what action steps are you taking? Because at the end of the day, I love Zooms. I think they're great. I think personal development and training and all of that is so important. But at the end of the day, what's going to pay your bills is putting people in the computer. There's no way around that. There's no shortcut. There's no like thing you can set up where people just magically make a paycheck without putting people in the computer. That's not how it works in network marketing. And so, really, I think anytime somebody's promoting and they're asking for any tips or advice, I always tell them, what did you do to get where you are right now? Whatever that was, you need to double it, triple it, quadruple it. The months that you are pushing for a promotion, you have to think to yourself, like, it's time to take massive action, not just, okay, let's say that you're used to messaging 5 people a week. Well, if you're trying to promote, you need to be messaging 10 to 15 to 20 people a week, right? If that's your normal, which, by the way, I wouldn't even say that that's enough, but that's okay. I'm just like trying to, whatever you're doing, double it, triple it, right? If you are used to doing parties, if you're someone that does a lot of parties and you've had those, you guys, I've had really good luck with parties recently. I've had some that were total, they were fails, but man, I had some that were really amazing and helped me promote 3 new rubies this last month on my team from doing parties for them over and over. And so, if you're somebody that did 2 parties last month, do 4 this month, set stuff up, get out there. 2 of our leaders that live in Houston, Gina and Amy, they're both triple diamonds. I just love them dearly. And they've both been with the company, I think, 5 years. They did a blitzing day together, and they both even admitted and said, gosh, this feels so silly to go out and be passing out cards, and just hoping that people are going to, sign up with us. Well, they actually signed up a customer. One guy chased them down in the parking lot to get a card. They got great leads. They got interaction everywhere that they went. And it was one of those things where they went, why are we not doing this more? And so I think for some of you, it just needs to be about taking those action steps, that blitz, wrap, repeat, and going and doubling it and tripling it. So that's always my first tip, is that massive action. And then I think the second thing is who on your team do you need to promote? So when you're looking at your chart, charting is really important in care what company you're with. When you're in network marketing, you have to have some organization to your team to go next level. You've got to have somebody on your team that you are working with to go to that next level. I retract that statement. You can go to a next level all on your own and all on your hard work. You won't maintain that level unless you have people going with you. Is that a better way to say it? Probably, because I think I got to Diamond by myself, but I stayed at Diamond and I went triple Diamond and I went ambassador because other people were working with me. So that's really important too. That's okay. That's really important to, remember is who else is on that chart that's working, and be realistic about that. What I found was last month I'm trying can to earn this ambassador trip that's important to me. And so I'm working on as many rubies as possible. Well, those rubies, what I'm doing is not just giving them everything, but working with the people that are in those boxes, throwing an online party for them, throwing an in-person party for them if I can, going on a blitz day with them, working with their warm market and with their network, because that is super important to do as well. And so I think too, it's who you've got to know who is on your chart, and then giving them a goal, saying, girl, by the end of the month, do you think that we can get 4 loyal customers? If you do that, you're going to increase your paycheck. You're going to be in the 400 club and hit your 400 GV. I really want this for you. Do you want it? If you do, let's do this. Send this message out to 10 people. This worked for me. Post this today. Help them. A lot of times I feel like we sign people up, and then when they don't do the work that we've done, or when they don't do it as quickly, we just wash our hands of them and we're like, well, she's not a runner. Well, sometimes, my chart is made up of a whole lot of walkers. Don't overlook and neglect the people that are putting in a few customers at a time. Those people will help be blood of your business. So continue to work with them. Not everybody is going to get this right away. Just because they hop on one Zoom, or just because they're in a group chat, or just because they're in a group that has a lot of great info, people are busy. People give themselves 1 million excuses. And so if you can put as much info in front of them and help them not have an excuse, who you need to be working with and who you don't. If you give someone an exact thing to post and they never will post it, that's probably not your girl, right? But if you've got people that will follow along with what you're saying, that will trust what you're saying, that will, post things or message things or do a party or whatever it is, those are your people that you really kind of want to start working with more and more. So I always remind people, know who is on your chart, and then let your sponsor know, hey, I'm promoting this month. I'm going for this, so that they can help map it out for you. Send them a picture of your chart and say, am I doing this right? Double check this. Let's just make 100% sure, because you don't know what your sponsors got in their back pocket to help with, helping you promote, and tips and things that worked for them whenever they were promoting. So reach out to them. Let them know so that they can cheer you on and be excited for you and give you as many tips as possible too. The other thing is when you are, when you're pushing for Ruby, I think one of the other things that is so important is belief. Believing that, first of all, that you can do it. And you guys, I always start out any talk that has to do with belief with being very transparent about the fact that when I first started network marketing and people were talking about personal development and self-development and manifesting things and like law of attraction stuff and all this, if you just believe it, you can achieve it. And it seriously sounded so freaking hokey to me. I was like, I believe in God and hard work. That's what I believe in. I'll pray about it, but I'm going to work my tail off. I'm not going to just oh God, send me a miracle, and not go out and work. That's how I grew up and what I believe. So all of this stuff just felt so crazy to me until I really started reading over and over and over, and not just one book. I don't know that I would say hundreds, but probably have read close to 100 books about either network marketing or business, y'all, from Christian authors, from ones that I wouldn't know if they're a Christian or not. And it doesn't matter. Everybody has got the same thing, that if you believe something, and you truly believe that something can happen, then your mind begins to unlock ways to make that happen. And it's just how God made our brains to work. And I think I think what people are really talking about is the law of sowing seeds too, right? Jesus talks about that in the Bible, about how whatever you sow is what you're going to reap. If you plant corn, you're going to grow a corn, or you're going to grow corn, right? If you plant a cotton seed, you're not going to grow corn. If you plant a cotton seed, you're going to get cotton. If you are planting seeds of doubt, if you are planting seeds of disbelief, if you are planting seeds of negativity, if every day the words that you're speaking about yourself and to yourself are, well, she's successful because she's got a great network, or, oh, she's successful because she's super skinny and I'm overweight and I could never do this business, or, well, she's successful because she doesn't have kids. Oh, she's successful because her hair is brown. Like, I mean, y'all, our brain is ridiculous, and it will come up with so many different reasons why we can't do something. So we have to practice and train our brains to think of the reasons why we can do something. And so even just speaking affirmations to yourself, like, today I'm going to sign up a customer. I have this thing that I read every morning in the bathroom. I see it every single day that tells me how awesome I am and how great I am at this business and how much of a leader I am and I can help people and this is what I was born to do. And it's just like all these things that I don't necessarily believe, but I have trained my brain to think about those things, because as I do, guess what? I want to act more like an amazing leader. When I do those things, guess what? I'm like, I want to go find a loyal, because I've just told myself in the bathroom that I'm going to find a loyal today. And so, you know, I think part of it is belief in yourself, and really believing in the product, believing in the steps to success, believing in yourself, believing in the company, all of that. Because when you begin to do that, your brain starts making roads and ways and avenues, and gives you ideas and all kinds of things to begin to unlock, to make Ruby happen, to make Emerald happen, to make Diamond happen. And so I think that that's part of it. And then the other part of it is just freaking believing that you're worthy. I feel like there are people that are probably even on this Zoom that would rather, that it's easy for them to believe that success belongs to other people, but not for them. And that comes from a million different things. Maybe it comes from parents that told you you're not good enough, or that you're not smart enough, or that you'll never amount to anything. Maybe it comes from a really crappy relationship you've been in, where a boyfriend or a girlfriend beat you down. And I mean, who knows? Like, it could, and you could be your own biggest hater. The hate that you feel could be right here between your own ears. I don't know. But I feel like so many people here that it's not just about believing in yourself. It's also believing that you're worthy of this, that you are worthy of a promotion, that you are worthy of the next level. You absolutely are, because here's the cool thing. Let me tell you why. If you believe it for no other reason, believe it for this. When you promote, you take other people with you. In this business, you cannot be at the top or stay at the top unless you have a lot of other people that you have helped and that you have brought along with you. And that is one of my favorite things about this business and what keeps me going, because I'm being perfectly honest, you guys, I've made like $3 million in 5 years in this business. It's insane. It's insane. Okay. And that does not get me out of bed in the morning the same way that the single mom who just joined my team, who needs $200 a month stamps, like, that doesn't propel me and push me as much as that does. Does that make any sense? Like, I will work harder for the lady on team that needs that $300 a month than I will to go and make $1 million a month. And so know that even if it starts with you just believing that you're worthy so that you can bring other people along with you, like, hold on to that. And so I feel like somebody needed to hear that you are absolutely worthy of success. And I don't mean it in this weird, like, Joel Osteen-y kind of like, just think good thoughts and God will give you money. I'm not talking about that. Okay. I'm talking about, sorry, don't mean to knock Joel Osteen. He's got some good stuff, but I'm not believe and money will come to you. That's not what I mean at all. But I really believe that whenever you pair a belief in yourself and a desire to help other people with like a kick-ass work ethic, then you're unstoppable. I really do. And so that's what I try to get up and do every single day, is have that work ethic and know that I'm helping people and that I absolutely can do this. So that's all I got. Sorry, I started preaching and I didn't. My dad's a preacher. I didn't mean to. I come by it really honestly. My dad's a preacher and my grandmother cusses like a sailor. And so I got the best of both of them.
That's awesome. I can totally relate to that though, because when I hit presidential for like 10 months after I went presidential, I didn't really believe that I could be ambassador. Like, I didn't believe in myself. And so I definitely felt that kind of hit me. Like, I felt like I was hitting a wall and I wasn't like progressing anywhere. And I was just like headbutting a wall every single day. And I kept like I was terrified to pull out my ambassador chart and look at it because I didn't really believe that I was worthy enough to hit that ambassador rank. And so once I like got over that mindset and got back to work is when things like started to go really great in my business again. But it was like I was holding myself back because I didn't think, oh, you know what, I could totally do that. I was just like, okay, I'm here, I've arrived, and that's it, you know? And so I had like that doubt, that self-doubt for myself. So I totally get what you're saying. I probably was the one that needed to hear that.
Well, good. Well, good. I'm glad. All right. Well, that's what I got. Do we have any, I mean, obviously, I mean, I could talk all night, but I mean, if there's specific things that you guys want to talk about, I don't want to just talk about my agenda, but I'd rather help with things that you guys might need help with. So is there anything, do you guys put it in the chat or do y'all like unmute? How do y'all do it?
If you guys want to unmute yourselves to ask a question, definitely do that. If you don't know how to unmute yourself, you can raise your hand and I'll unmute you. I'm sure Amanda has questions because she always has good stuff. She always asks me questions that I'm like, let me
I love
ask somebody.
Hi.
So go for it.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. My question to Ashley is, do you set a particular messaging goal for yourself each day? And if so, how many do you plan for yourself to do?
That's good. That's really good. I don't know that I have a number goal. I am really big on something I came up with that I'm sure I pulled from a lot of other people, but I had to find a way to work every day that made sense. Came up with something called a rule of 5, and that's what I work off every day. It's in the legendary page. I just cleaned off all this stuff on my desk. I would not know where to find a blank sheet if I even looked for it, and my notebook's in the car. I wonder if I've got one in here. And it's called the Rule of 5 update. Oh, here's one right here. Here's a version of it, I guess. This is kind of something that I go off of. And I've made a couple of different versions of this. You know, you need to pick the one that's right for you. But basically, I kind of break my week up into 3 things that I feel like are super important into this business. And that is connecting, prospecting, and follow-up. And so everything I do, I kind of break down into those 3 things. So I am always trying to connect with new people, bringing new people into my business, because you guys, if you feel like, well, I'm posting and I'm getting nothing, it's because you're not adding new. I can guarantee you, because anytime you're adding new and you're being consistent about that, fresh people are seeing your stuff. But what I'm learning with Facebook and the algorithm is that people won't see your stuff unless you're spending a fair amount of time connecting too. So connecting is just as important as posting. I have a lot of people that just post and I'm like, nobody's going to see what you're posting because you're not spending time liking other people's stuff and commenting on theirs and connecting. And so I break mine down into 3 ways, into 3 days. And again, these are files that are already on a page. So don't feel like you've got to, screenshot all this or write it all down right now. Like look on the file and you'll see it. It's under Rule of 5, but I think every day you have to start out with what you're thankful for and then making sure that you're posting. One thing that I do is I always check the birthdays on my Facebook, and I really try to keep up with those. I mean, there's days that I miss it, but I really try to check birthdays on Facebook because every day it sends you a notification, and you can so quickly take 2 minutes and happy birthday to all the people that you're friends with. And so that's good for connecting. It's good for engagement. It's also good. Well, it's just nice to tell people happy birthday. And then making sure that you're encouraging people on your team, encouraging people, that are sidelined to you, that they don't directly affect your chart, but they affect it works. And so keep them encouraged. Making sure that you are updating your list of people that have said they are interested in becoming a distributor, commenting on Instagram followers, commenting on new friends on Facebook, so I always try to do at least 5 of each of these things. So like encourage 5 people, comment on at least 5 new friends. Now, obviously that most days that's way more, but at least 5. And so And then the next day is prospecting. So I have found that my brain works best. I've tried 100 different ways to be organized. I'm not organized at all. If y'all only saw my desk and what is happening here, but I'm not organized, but I had to find a way to get organized. And what worked best for my brain was to, on like Mondays, the bulk of that day that I was working, whether it was 2 hours, whether it was 8 hours, whether it was 30 minutes that I had, whatever it was, that I was spending that time connecting. And so that way, whenever I go to my phone, I know that I'm going to it for a specific purpose, and it is to connect with as many people as possible. Make sense? So I get in like connection mode, and it helps me to stay in that mode. And then the next day, I work on prospecting, and that's where I'm adding new followers, adding new friends, messaging loyal customers. Hey, did you know we have an opportunity? Messaging friends about, hey, just wanted to remind you, I'm still here. I'm still doing this. I'm still loving it. I would still love to have you on my team. Blitzing people. So prospecting is just as important as connecting with people. And then of course, follow-up. And follow-up is something I do probably the most. 2 or 3 days out of the week are usually spent on follow-up. And I love getting into like the follow-up zone, because once I get into that zone, I can send out, those might be the days that I send out like 80 messages. And when it's BOGO, forget it. I might send out like 300. So, and that may sound like a crazy amount to you at first. And I get it. It did to me too. But y'all, I've been in this business 6 years. It's almost, what's today? I'm coming up on my 6-year anniversary, like in 2 weeks. And so I have lists and lists and lists and lists of people that I've been talking to for a long time. So anyway, that's kind of how I break up my week, if you want to call it that. The rule of 5 is great, and it's on the team page. It's got a little bit of all this for every single day. And so for somebody that's not working their business full time yet, it's a great thing to follow, because you can typically fill out that rule of 5 sheet in 20 to 30, maybe 20 to 45 minutes a day. You could get one of those sheets done. So if you have a day where you can work for an hour and a half, like fill out 3 sheets, that's even better. Does that make sense? So hope that kind of helps. But yeah, it's on the Team Legendary page. It's under files. It's under Rule of 5 updated, I believe. So, Amanda, great question. Can you talk on longevity and how, if it isn't happening in 1 month, why you shouldn't just quit? It's such a good question. And, really, I did a live video, I think the other day, and shared it in the page about looking at your business as a marathon and how important it is to be thinking about your business. And I don't run, so I don't really know why I compared anything to running, because clearly I'm not, I don't know, not a runner, but, just thinking about looking at this business, it's not a job. And the problem is that so many of us, and I say us, I started a business at 22. So I've been a business owner for a long time, but having that employee mentality will kill your dream. Okay. When you have an employee mentality in network marketing, those are the people that quit on me so fast. And what I mean by that is, an employee mentality says, I worked 40 hours let's say you do this a little bit on the side, right? Like most people do. Nobody ever just jumps in like, I'm full-time from day one. We all have lives and business and babies and jobs. Like we can't do that, right? So, but when you're doing this, let's say part-time, you do 40 hours a month. Okay. So you put 40 hours for the month, an extra like 10 hours a week, which is a great amount when you're first starting out to get going and to earn you a nice executive or Ruby check. Okay. So you go through and you work your 40 hours for the month, and then your paycheck comes, and your paycheck was like $27. Or maybe it was like $54. And you divide that out by the number of hours that you worked, and you made like negative 12 cents an hour. Congratulations, right? Like I'll never forget my husband saying that. My first check was actually like $400. I went Ruby my first month. I was killing it. Like I worked my tail. I worked way more than 40 hours in a month. And I'll never forget getting that paycheck and being so excited and really disappointed. And him saying, well, congratulations. Like you just made like 20, or way to go, babe, and I was like, no, but it's coming. I feel it. I feel like I'm building momentum. And that's the thing, is that when you have a business owner mentality and you just started a business with, it works. Okay. So when you kind of can retrain your brain to business owner mentality, you are going to put in work that you will not get paid for a while. And that sucks. Okay. And most people will not get over that because you are putting in work, you're putting in work, you're putting in work, and then you get a $27 paycheck. And then you put in work and you put in work and you put in work and you might make a $200 paycheck. And then you put in work and you put in work. Okay. It is going to feel like you are literally like pulling this train up a hill. But here's the but. This is where most people will quit, is because they're like, this isn't worth my time. This is crazy. I'm putting all this time and effort and energy into it. I'm posting. I've had my friend, I've had some friends block me on Facebook. Like, this is not worth it. I've made $200 or whatever. But then here's what happens to the people that stick with it. You stick with it and you stick with it and you stick with it, and your check may grow from $300 to $400 to $700. Then it might fall back to $500, but then it might be $800, and then it might be $1,000, and then now it might be back to $700, and then it'll be $800, and then it'll be $1,100, and then it might be back down to $700 again, and then it might go back up. But here's the thing: as a business owner, what you're realizing is that you are putting in time and effort now, because you are one day going to be paid on work that you did in 2017. And so this last paycheck that I got, you guys, was unreal, because I am still making commission and money off of people and orders that I enrolled in 2011 and 2012. 5 and 6 years ago, their work that I did, I am still being paid on it in 2017. And so it takes a person who isn't just looking like this, but is willing to look up a little bit and to say, wait a minute, there's a better way. There's a way that I can work now, stressed about my hourly wage or whatever it is, so that in the future, I am making an insane commission off of work that I did years before. And, I have girls on my team that would tell you, I didn't work for like not me, but the girls on my team would say, I didn't work for 2 or 3 months. Like, I put in a few customers, maybe 1 or 2 distributors, and they're still making $3,000 to $5,000 a month paychecks. Mm-hmm. And they will flat out tell you, I didn't even complete the step success last month. I had a really bad month, or I took a vacation, or, hey, I just mentally wasn't into my business. And they're still making that money. And it is because of the work that they did and the longevity, like you said, Amanda, having that brain cell for something that's bigger than just a 9 to 5 paycheck. And you've got to have that with network marketing. You've got to have it in any freaking business. I owned a lingerie store for 8 years before I sold it, because started doing so well. By the way, I sold it to a girl who had it for years, and then she started making so much money and it worked. She sold it too. So it's kind of like this store that keeps turning owners, because we all keep making too much money and it works. But I had a store for 8 years. And the first almost 5 years of that business, I never paid myself more than like an extra $100 or $200 a month out of the register. Like, we had to learn to live on one income with my husband and like live on our savings, because I just could not take money out of that business. I could not afford to pay myself. If we had a really good month, I might take bucks, or give myself a little bonus at the end of the year when we had a great month in December. But you guys, like, I did not start paying myself and putting myself on a payroll and getting a set check, which was still only $1,100, until 5 years into that business. And so we stayed in a crappy rent house for a long time, because I was building this dream. Like, I knew that what I was working for was going to pay off in the long run. And you have to have, you don't have to have all that, right? But you got to have a little bit of that mentality with network marketing, that you are not going to get paid what you're worth at the very beginning. What you are going to find is that you will get paid 20 times more than the work that you're doing down the road. You will. At this point in my business, you guys, I'm done. I don't want to do this anymore, and just cross my hands and not put anybody in the computer, and I would still be sent a 5-figure paycheck next month, and the next month, and the next month, and the next month. Now, eventually it'll dwindle down if I decide I'm not going to work my business. But you guys, I mean, I have built up for so long, so much, that now if I wanted, I couldn't stop this team if I wanted to stop this team. It's going to keep going with or without me. Does that make sense? And so that's where I want you guys to have that long-term perspective and that vision of, look, this is something that years down the road could be helping pay my bills, even if I have a bad month, even if I have to take care of my mom in the hospital, even if my kid gets sick and I don't even put in a customer, so I get pretty passionate about that topic. Sorry. I probably should have stopped 5 minutes ago. Sorry. Anybody else?
Good ones.
Yeah, she does. That's a good one.
Hey, you want to know, side note, random fact. When my sister got married, I bought her lingerie at your store.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Get at it. Did you come register with me?
No, she didn't. But Melissa was my roommate at the time, 2 stores over.
Yes. Oh, that's
Random fact, sorry.
Got it. I was like, how did you register with me that far away? That's awesome.
Yeah, anyway.
Little
Side note there.
Sounds chicken wow. Sure, you still wear it every night to bed, don't you? Every night. Sure. Anybody else?
What other questions do you guys have? Anything and everything is welcomed.
Not everything, but anything.
Anything.
Anything, but not everything is welcome. But anything is welcome.
Ask away, y'all. This is your chance. Somebody is raising their hand. Jackie is. Okay. What's up, Jackie?
Hi. My question is, how do you ever run out of on Facebook? I imagine you tons. So are you still able to?
You're constantly adding new. You have to be. So, I mean, do I feel like I've run through my warm market? Absolutely. And 2 and 3 years ago, I was still like, guys, I'm still talking to my warm market. At this point, I would say I'm not anymore. I mean, I've been 6 years, like my friends and family, they know what I do, and they're either a customer or they've been a distributor or they are a distributor. So, or they've told me no, they've said it's not for them, which is fine. So, no, it's constantly adding new. It's adding myself to new groups. It's friending new people. I went to a jewelry page that I liked the other day, and their last thing where they posted the new fall collection, I went and friended anybody that I had mutually in common with people that had liked that post just to start something there. I mean, I'm always adding new. And if you're not always adding new, then yes, you will feel like you never have anybody to talk to on Facebook anymore. You'll feel like the same 200 people are all you have, and you've contacted all of them. And so that's why I'm constantly talking about connecting and prospecting. That's where you're adding new people and then connecting with those people, because you could add people to your Facebook all day long, but if they go to your page and all they're seeing is a bunch of salesy stuff, they're not going to like it. If you add them to your page and then you are connecting with them first and you're commenting on how cute their kid is and you're talking about, and that's why it's important to find people that have a similar interest to you so that you don't have to feel fake about it. Like, I like that jewelry, so I knew I would have something in common with those ladies. I went to a comedian that I liked the other day. They posted a hilarious video, and I went to the video and saw who liked it and then saw who I had mutual friends with in common, because there was 200,000 likes on it. So there's plenty of people to pick from. So I went through and friended 25 of those new people. And I didn't just friend them, I wrote them down so that now I know who those people are. And then I'm going and I'm I don't just message them and, hey, I want you to buy my products. Like, I went and commented on their stuff. I went and, engaged with them. And that's where I don't feel like you'll ever run out of people to talk to. No.
Thank you.
I have a quick question if you can hear me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Do you do in-person wrap parties? And if so, where do you do those? At your house or at a public place?
I do them. I've done all over. Yes, I've had them at my house. I've had them at my house before. Most of the time I'm hosting them for other people, so they're having them at their house. So I've been hosting them a lot for my distributors that I need to go Ruby or that I want to be executive. I've been hosting for them. Does that make sense? So it's been at their house. We've done it at a school before. I've met with 3 ladies before at Starbucks and done a party there, and all of them signed up. One of them even rapped in the bathroom and signed all of them up as customers. You can do it at a public place. I had a meeting with 2 moms the other day. It was 2 friends, and they just wanted to get out of the house and were interested. And I said, well, bring a friend. And so the girl brought a friend, and we talked, and one of them signed up as a customer, and it was at Chick-fil-A. I called call that a wrap party. You know, we weren't like lifting up our shirts in the middle of Chick-fil-A and rapping, but we were having a rap party. You know, I was getting to talk to them about the products. And so, you know, a wrap party can be so many different things. Another thing is to maybe think about a salon or to think about a boutique or something like that and ask them if you can host like a sip and sample party there from 5 to 7, like a happy hour thing. Bring like 1 bottle of wine and let people sample some of the products. And then the owner of the business is probably going to say yes, because you're bringing people into their business. So host it with if you've got a team, host it with your team. I've done that before. Yeah, sometimes you just have to get creative. Are you asking me because you don't want to have it at your house?
No, but we're in the middle of moving, so there's kind of stuff everywhere.
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, if you can't have it at your house, it's absolutely okay to say, I can come wrap you at your work. I can wrap you right after work. Let's meet somewhere. Tell people I'm in the middle of moving. You know, it doesn't have to be this big sit down for an hour, go through the party pad kind of thing. It can be a very simple, hey, what are you interested in trying out? Bring your one little party pad and then go from there. You know, that's okay too. Stephanie, are you asking me that after what I just talked about? I find it very hard to add people on Facebook. I've joined a couple of groups, but I can't find myself to add people. So here's what you do. You go over to a person's page where it says add friend, and then you just click add friend. Like, that's how you add people. That was easy. Anybody got something else?
I would say to Stephanie too, when I first started, I felt the same way. And what I found easier was going to my little sister's page, and anybody that she was friends with from high school, like all of the grades underneath her and above her, mutual friends, was my sister. So I just went and literally would add 50 people a day, 25 in the morning, 25 at night. And then if they said something to me or if they didn't, I would do what Ashley's doing, commenting and liking their stuff. And then some of them, I sent them a message, hey, how do you know my sister? Made it really easy.
Yep. That's a good one. Going to your high school. One of the ways that I started was with my high school. Like, I've been added to a couple of groups for, like, friends. You made a face with your eyebrows. Did you not go to high school? She made a face. She was like, great, thanks. Okay. Okay, maybe you didn't go to high school. That's fine. But like, wherever you went to school, wherever you go to college, joining those kind of groups and then adding those people, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Especially whenever you're engaging in a group and you're in a comment, like let's say you're in a mom's group and then you comment and then other people comment. If you are watching and you're quick and you go and you add those few people that commented right after and share kind of a similar view of maybe whatever you just posted about, it doesn't seem weird because they've just seen your name and they know you're in a group. Does that make sense? So sometimes it's just about timing. But yeah, I'm all about like my little brother's friends, because a lot of times I'm like, oh my gosh, I totally forgot that kid used to hang out at our house all the time or whatever, starting there. That's really good. That was a good one, Brandy. And then and then definitely high school. I would highly recommend that. I mean, the girl that signed me up that changed my entire life, I hadn't seen her since junior high. And we became Facebook friends, and she sent me a message on Facebook, and we had sat next to each other for 5 months in junior high. So I'm very big on, like, you have to just get over that and message people and friend people, because, I mean, look, you guys are all here because one girl had the nerve to send me a message, and you may have signed up with somebody else later on, but I like to think not, that you're all here for a reason. So
I did the high school thing too. I went and added like anybody and everybody that went to high school with me. And I went to a pretty small high school, so it was kind of like not that crazy to go add like 400 people. And a guy I added who went to he was in my brother's graduating class, so like 3 years ahead of me or 4 years ahead of me. I added him 2 years ago when I started my business, and he messaged me today for a triple threat. He's been watching me for 2 years. So it's just adding them and, I mean, really just continue being consistent.
Absolutely. And there again, that longevity. The last customer that I signed up messaged me because she used to buy retail from a girl that quit And so she was like, I needed to find somebody. And so anyway, she like was Googling and looking for somebody that sold It Works in Lubbock and found me. So she was buying from a girl consistently until this girl quit. And so, you know, it's one more of those reasons why you've got to look at this business long term, you know?
Yep. Do you friend or search for people that live in countries that we distribute to?
What?
One of the questions in the chat says, do you friend or search for people that live in countries that we distribute to? So like when we opened in Italy, did you go search for people in Italy?
Yeah. No, I don't think that's stupid at all. I think it's smart. You know, when we opened in New Zealand, I did the same thing. When we opened in Italy, I did the same thing. I mean, those markets that we're open in, absolutely. You know, and then, that's smart to do. Stephanie, I'm reading, and you need to message your brother and just tell him I'm trying to run a business and you need to stop. And if you can't, then I've got to block you for a short time until you can figure out how to be a grown up, because I'm trying to make money. You know, I mean, at a certain point, like, yeah, Amanda, I am too. When we went to Mexico, I met the cutest little couple, and I'm friends with them. And she still will message me and go, "Are you open in Mexico yet?" I'm like, "No." And she's an ear, nose, and throat. She's a doctor in Mexico, but she's like, "You make how much?" Like, I want to do what you do.
When we open in Mexico, Amanda's gonna be a bazillionaire.
When we open in Mexico, it's game on, don't you think? Oh my gosh.
Yes, I'm gonna go find reasons to go to Mexico every day because it's only like an hour from me.
Absolutely, we will be doing that. So, well, if you guys don't have any other questions, I don't like to drag these things on too long, because I like to hopefully get you excited. And then tonight before you go to bed, I would highly encourage you, like, take this energy, take this excitement, take the belief that we have in you, and use that while you send out messages tonight, add new people. You know, Stephanie, tell your brother that he's lame and that he needs to leave you alone, or I'll come and beat him up. So I'm scrappy. I could do that. But yeah, thank you guys for your time. I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'm super excited that we were able to hop on with you. So thank you so much for taking time and answering our questions. Thank you.
You guys know I'm here for you anytime. Just let me know, okay?
Perfect. Thank you so much. Have a good night.